Random pencil. Hello there, Critter. Number 40. I don't know what number I'm on. Jean-Luc Godard's 90-minute Minority with English sub. Now, how would it be if I did the whole review just like that? You know what it would look like? It'd look like this fucking movie. I didn't like this movie. I didn't. It was another Godard. I mean, I knew I wasn't going to like it because it was Godard. And, I mean, I don't like it because Criterion holds it as like this, like, just amazing piece of work. No, it's pretentious as fuck. I'm sorry. It is pretentious as fuck. There was before Breathless and there was after Breathless. No, there was just Breathless. That's it. There's no before or after. It's just another dumbass movie that Godard made. Apparently, it was his first feature film. And so you think, oh, you know, and I sort of went into it thinking, oh well, you know, maybe it won't be as bad as the rest, you know. It's no different. I mean, it's not as gimmicky. It's definitely nowhere near as gimmicky as his other movies, like Masculine, Feminine, and A Woman is a Woman, which I still think might be his worst movie. I think A Woman is a Woman was the most piece of crappiest movie I've ever seen him do. But Breathless is right up there. I'm sorry, just Breathless was just you know, that's the thing. You know, I don't like Godard. I don't like his work. The closest I ever came to liking anything he did was Alphaville. And even then, that was, you know, just a bunch of science fiction crap. But this movie, again, I don't like it, you know. And and this is where all the down views come, you know. All the down views are coming, but I'm just saying, you know, it's just the production was just all the jump cuts were just annoying to watch, and I couldn't get into it. It made me dizzy. That kind of stuff makes me dizzy to watch, like, you know, jump cuts of the same thing, you know. Does this make you sick? Well, does any of that make you sick? Does any of this, like, make sense? Well, does it? I don't think it does. Not one bit. So anyway, yeah, Breathless is dumb. But anyway, let me give you the basic of this movie. Jean-Luc Godard, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Jean-Paul Belmondo plays this guy named Michel, who's I guess a small-time criminal who shoots a police officer and runs from the cops and hides out with his American girlfriend, Patricia, who just happens to speak French. And it was played by Jean Seberg. And of course, everybody, and that was another, you know, Jean Seberg was another huge deal because she had the extremely short hair, just like, you know, you might used to call it a boy cut, you know. And of course, that was a huge deal. That became a huge deal, and her cute face and all that. I'm just like, oh god, this is annoying as fuck. Seriously, making all the faces in the mirror and just looking and taking the glasses off and wearing the shades, and while she's interviewing Jean-Pierre Melville, some random scene where he's in the movie. And it sucks because the screenplay was written by Truffaut, and Truffaut's amazing, you know, and Godard's not. But I guess, you know, and I guess this was back when I think at one point they were. I always thought I remember there being a bit of a rivalry between them. I thought, but I guess at this point there wasn't. It was early 1960, you know. It was early in his career. Truffaut had been making movies for a little while, but Godard was basically, you know, almost a newcomer. But anyway, so Michelle and Patricia hide out in her apartment, and he tries to have sex with her, and she just wants to talk literature, some random crap like that. And it's just like, what am I watching? I was just like, this is the crap that filmmakers go over. I'm like, what is going on, you know? And the thing about Godard is all the randomness, you know, there are some people who can do that right. The only person I can think of right now that did that right is Soderbergh in Schizopolis. You know, Schizopolis is a random ass movie with with a plot, but a very contrived plot. Just it's all over the place. And so that movie in particular, I don't know. I just really like the randomness, and it works. I don't think he tries to take himself too seriously. Godard takes himself seriously, you know, and I think Godard. I think early on, watching some of the interviews with Godard in the package, he always said, you know, he didn't expect it to be a success. Apparently, he said its success was a mistake, which makes me wonder, okay, did you want your movie to fail? You know, because in my eyes, you know, well, you got what you wish, you know. But anyway, I don't get it. But anyway, so Michelle and Patricia hide out, and Patricia sells newspapers and works as a reporter, I guess. And at one point, Patricia ends up telling the police that Michelle's hiding out in her apartment, and Michelle gets shot at the end. And the last bit of dialogue is one of the worst endings from a movie I've ever seen. And I looked it up on Wikipedia. Apparently, the dialogue has like different translations. I don't know I'm not gonna look up the French thing, and I don't even know if it's in here. I bet you. I mean, kind of surprised it is. There's the last shot you see. God, this is just the most pretentious looking thing I've ever seen. I mean, good God. There's her making faces. Look at this pretentious crud. I mean, making faces before he dies. Just like, is that really what you're gonna do? There's him getting shot, and that was a ridiculous shot of him running like, just running for like 5 minutes, running down the street until he finally collapses in the middle of the street too. Ain't nobody going the other way. Oh wait a minute, or was it a one-way street? No, it was a two-way street. Nobody just happened to be driving down that street, I guess, or maybe they had the street closed off for filming. I don't know, but still, it was a little weird. So anyway, he dies. Patricia and the inspector catch up with Michelle. He's making faces at Patricia, and he says something like, "Criterion translated as makes me want to puke." And Patricia's like, "What did he say?" And then the inspector's like, "Makes me want to puke." And then she asks, "What do you mean? What does he mean, puke?" And then she looks at the camera, and that's the end of the film. I'm like, what? I guess in another translation, I was looking in a 2010 translation. Somebody said, or earlier, somebody says they translate the puke word to scumbag, and so I guess Wikipedia is like, it's not clear as to whether or not Michel is denouncing Patricia or the world. You know, his last words are directed toward her or, you know, the rest of the world. You know, it's like, what a world, and stuff like that. So, yeah. No. Another just boring, stupid ass movie. And, you know, down like this video, I don't care. I really don't. I'm sorry. It's just pretentious. I didn't like it. I'm sorry. It's not bad. It's not Salo bad. It's not Sweet Movie bad. It's not Picnic at Hanging Rock bad. Although there's a chance. I don't know. No, well, Breathless is shorter than Picnic at Hanging Rock. So yeah, whatever's a shorter. There's a line that I come to where the shortest movie. If I can't pick between the two, whichever one's shorter, I'd have to watch more. And I think I'm pretty sure Breathless is only 90 minutes long, so it's not a very long movie. I don't think Godard. I mean, Godard's movies weren't too long anyway. I think one of his longest movies was like Contempt. I think it was Contempt was like one of his longest movies, like a little over 2 hours. Although I think his other movies like Every Man for Himself and Weekend and Made in USA, I think might have been a little longer. I don't know. I don't keep track of that stuff. We'll get to cross that bridge when we have to. But yeah. So you can disagree, and you will, but I'm just in the minority here. I gotta say, I did not like Breathless. My mom, I've talked to her about, a lot of movies that like everybody claims is like the biggest, the best movies ever, and she didn't care much for Citizen Kane. I liked Citizen Kane. I thought it was, I could see why people liked it. I thought there were a lot of moments that, for me personally, I thought made it an amazing film. I don't think it's my favorite film. It's definitely not one of the greatest films I've ever seen. It is a really fantastic film. It's right up there. It's up in one of the greatest films. But it's not the greatest. I wouldn't say it's probably in the top 10. Maybe top 20, top 30. But and that's just my mom. Does the same thing. So I just think we all entitled to our opinions. And for me, I don't like Godard, and because of that, I don't like Breathless. This is just another movie and who knows, maybe there is a movie out there that I'll like by Godard, but honestly, he just doesn't fly with me. That's just the simple way of putting it. The only one I think I might come anywhere close to liking is maybe Every Man for Himself, because Charles Bukowski wrote the subtitles, did the subtitles and translations, I think for the initial one, or a lot of the dialogue or something like that. And I love Bukowski. I think he's fantastic. He's not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm a Bukowski dude. So I'm kind of curious to see how Godard and Bukowski got down. So anyway, yeah. So anyway, that's all I got. Breathless. Oh God. I made it through without puking. It's not Godard's worst, but it certainly isn't Godard's best. I want to give this an F. I want to. But it's short. It's over before you know it. It has a conclusion. It has a basic plot, so you have that. D. Yeah, I'm giving it a D. Yeah. It's just you can skip this one, seriously. Don't waste your time. There's so many better French films out there, try The 400 Blows. 400 Blows is amazing. Truffaut. Go with even Shoot the Piano Player. Even if you had to watch one of those films, go with Jules and Jim. I didn't care much for Jules and Jim, but just go with that or something, or go with Jean Renoir, The River. That was a French film. Or like Lower Depths or something like that. I'm trying to stick with New Wave though. Or even the Eric Romer, The Six Moral Tales. Those are amazing. Go with those. Those are fantastic. Don't let this movie define French New Wave, because it doesn't. It defines Godard. And his future movies would only enhance it. So. Supplements. Disc 1 had a bunch of interviews with Godard and Belmondo, Seberg, and Jean-Pierre Melville. A bunch of archival interviews. Disc 2 had basically everything else. Had interview with Raoul Cotard, interview with Pierre Ricien, who's the assistant director, D.A. Pennebaker, who we remember from Monterey Pop. There's a video essay about Gene Seberg and Jonathan Rosenberg's Breathless as criticism. There's an 80-minute documentary from 1993 called Chambre 12 Hotel des Suède, which is like trying to get all these people who worked at Breathless to come back and talk about it. And they're all, you know. The only thing that struck any interest to me, and might have been probably the only thing that actually might have been the most interesting thing I've seen Godard do, was a short film that he did back in 1959 before Breathless, called Charlotte et son Jules, which stars Jean-Paul Belmondo as, I guess, a guy named Jules, and he's talking to his girlfriend Charlotte, who comes back to his flat, and he basically goes through this whole rant about why she came back and how he wants her back and how he doesn't want her back and he still loves her. And meanwhile, outside, there's a guy honking his horn, and I think that's Charlotte's new boyfriend. And so he tells her, "Oh, I love her, I love you, and you better stay with me or I'll kill you," and just does all this random. He just goes through all these emotions. He's like, "Why do you?" Just so it's like basically this 12-minute monologue with the punchline is, and spoiler alert, well, he just goes on this whole rant about, like, why she came back, and the last one is like, "Oh, I just forgot my toothbrush," and then she leaves and that's it, and then he just like makes a weird face and that's it. So I actually appreciate that, this movie, like that short film, had like just a little. I could tell it was like building up to just a joke, So if I had to recommend anything by Godard, I would say Charlotte et son Jules. It works. It actually works as like a comedy skit, So I wouldn't give that an A. I think the whole movie, I think Breathless should have been that. I think Breathless should have been an 89-minute monologue with a 1-minute punchline. That would have been fantastic. Just like a Shaggy Dog kind of story or something like that. I don't know. So yeah, that's all I got. So Breathless, D. No. There's somebody that's watching this right now that wanted to see this, and I'm telling you now, I'm sorry, but further nailing the coffin shut. Anyway, that's it for me. Now, next, Days of Heaven. You may see me doing this later. I think I'm going to try to get this one done tonight, because I don't know if I'll have time tomorrow. I want to. It's short. It's just one disc. It's a 94-minute movie. Quick and to the point. Just a couple of interviews. So we'll see if I can get this done in a couple minutes. We'll see. Well, not in a couple minutes, but we'll see if I can get this done before the end of the night. Let's give it a shot. If not, we'll get it done. We'll try to get it done tomorrow. Because Thursday, Under the Volcano, and then Friday we don't have a review, and then Saturday we'll try to get to Sawdust and Tinsel. I think Saturday we're going to try and do Sawdust and Tinsel, and then Sunday we'll do Drunken Angel, and then Monday we'll do Two-Lane Blacktop, and that'll be it for the week, next week. And then I'll be taking a break between the 31st and the 7th, I think. I think the 7th I'll be back. I'm not quite sure when I'm going to be back, but I'm just taking some time off. But we got the first 10 done. Yeah, and I think the week after that, but yeah, after that week we'll do the next. Again, we're gonna skip. What is it? Berlin Alexanderplatz, and we'll save that for the week after that. Yeah, but we'll figure it out in due time. So, anyway, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. If your movies look like this, you're doing them wrong. And we will see you all later for Days of Heaven. And until then, goodbye.